What's good, peeps? T-Money, back up in the heezy, back up in this motherfucker. After 5 days of being gone, it feels like a long-ass time, but I am home from North Carolina. I just went to visit some friends and had a great weekend. So, um, yeah, no surprise. When I got home yesterday, there was a stack of boxes on the steps, and then there was a few more packages. I wanted to wait because I got in super late last night. So I wanted to wait till I got in today, let some time go by so I could get some sleep and whatnot. I had to work this morning, but to do this, and I also ended up picking up a few more things that came in the mail today. So I've opened everything up because it would have been like a shit ton of packages, and I don't want to waste too much of your time doing that, or my time for that matter. So let's get into the update. So I've got a stack of stuff that I purchased at a store by the name of Ed-Mckays in Greensboro, North Carolina. It's a really cool store. When I lived there and went to school 10 years ago, I used to go there all the time. It's pretty popular, pretty well-known used store, so that was definitely on the agenda. I actually went there 2 different times. They didn't have a ton of like boutique stuff, collector stuff. I mean, it's a used store, so they have tons of movies, tons of comics, tons of Funko Pops, tons of toys, everything you could think of, books, all kinds of cool shit. But I really just went through the horror section, the sci-fi, and I didn't find a lot of like boutique-y stuff like Arrow Video and cool Blu-rays and rare shit like that. But I found a stack actually of DVDs that I hadn't heard of any of them really. So, and I kind of checked with my buddies through the 22 Shots group chat that I'm in or whatever, and they kind of gave me the confirmation on a bunch of these titles. So let's start with the DVDs. Then I have a stack of Blu-rays, probably over 30 titles total. So let's dig right in. So first up, we have 13 Souls. This is a movie I actually ordered from eBay. Shout out to You and Your Horror Movies. He had talked about it, kind of an obscure indie slasher movie. But it looks kind of cool and fun. So yeah, killer in a mine shaft. I mean, I love anything like that. My Bloody Valentine. There aren't very many films that have that setting, so we'll check it out. The rest of this stuff in this stack here is going to be from Ed-Mckays in Greensboro. So first up, we have Death on Scenic Drive. And again, if any of you guys have seen any of these movies, let me know if they're good. These DVDs in particular, because these were all blind buys. A horror maverick, blah, blah, blah. From the vigilante behind the Demolisher comes a new horror experience. In an isolated farmhouse, a young woman encounters... Sorry, I'm seeing the year this is from. Of course, it doesn't say. A young woman encounters an entity that transforms her into death itself and rains a violent storm against the neighbors and the family that resides there. So Death on a Scenic Drive. Then we have The Landlady. This just sounded like a really fun suspense thriller movie. So yeah. Tarantulas. I love my killer spider movies. This is one I had never seen, so I'm really excited to check this out. This is from 1977, so that's awesome. Black Magic. This sounded pretty creepy. Yeah, some sort of ritualistic seance in an Indonesian home. But yeah, I don't know. It just sounded creepy. I'm not gonna go over everything for time's sake. Monster Man. I'm really excited to check this movie out. Apparently, it's like Wrong Turn meets Jeepers Creepers. I'm totally game for that. Yeah. The Hole in the Ground. I had heard a few pretty good things about this movie a while back, so I was happy to scoop this one up. And Night of the Dead. Apparently it's like Reanimator. Cell Count. This sounded pretty badass. It had a lot of pretty cool quotes and stuff on it. So yeah. Sorry, all of a sudden I got like really hungry. Alright, next up we have Pterodactyl Woman from Beverly Hills. This is a trauma flick. Beverly D'Angelo. I always thought Beverly D'Angelo was sexy as fuck. This just sounds batshit crazy. Felipe Mora. Oh, excuse me. Wow, Brian James. Brian James. He's great. He's in one of my favorite episodes of Tales from the Crypt. It's the one where I forget what it's called. Easel Kill Ya or something. No, it's about the tree stumps. He plays like a mad lumberjack. It's really good. And then I got Gory Gory Hallelujah. I thought I had strike gold on this one because it's just super like obscure sounding zomcom from like the 80s or 70s. Indican Pictures, I've never heard of them before. Well, whenever this movie is from anyway, it sounded pretty cool. Yeah, alright, I'll read you the synopsis here. 4 actors compete for the role of Jesus, a black revolutionary, a bisexual hippie, a Jew, and a woman. When all 4 are rejected, they hit the road on badass motorcycles, bound for glory in New York City. But when a run-in with a gang of Elvises ends in murder, they find themselves stranded in a little town called Jackville, where folk don't take kindly to blasphemers. Taken prisoner, the Jesuses fall prey to an evil conspiracy that can only lead to the apocalypse. As the oppressed turn against each other and the undead rise, who will emerge as the true Jesus? Can zombies bring redemption or just eat flesh? So yeah, it just sounded batshit crazy. Well, again, I thought I had struck gold with this one, but then they had like a few copies of it, and every time, like instinctively, I see multiple copies of the same movie at a used movie store, I think like generic shit for some reason. But I could totally be wrong. This is like $6 brand new on Amazon. I looked it up, so. Then this is Voodoo Moon. This actually had a slipcover. Oh! Excuse me, guys. Whoa! Still reeling from the flight last night, I guess, and work this morning. But an Anchor Bay title, and it actually had a slipcover, but it was destroyed. Did I just say that? I don't know. But it had Jeffrey Combs. So we'll see. Voodoo Moon. Then we have Sick Girl. Shout out to D-Boogie86. Highly recommended this one to me. Synapse Films, batshit craziness. And last up for the DVDs, we have The Dark Below. Never heard of this movie either, but it seems like a slasher movie. And it's kind of unique. A woman is struggling for survival beneath a frozen lake while a serial killer stalks her from the surface. So it sounded kind of interesting. Oh, excuse me. Alright, so let's get into the haul now. Trying to think if I'm forgetting anything, but I don't think I am. Alright, so these three titles on top are from Ed-Mckays as well in Greensboro. So, Some Guy Who Kills People, I can finally upgrade. This is a Region B Blu-ray. Finally get rid of my DVD. I actually think I sold that anyway, so I was happy to upgrade. The Fly, the original, I'm not sure, honestly, if I needed this, but I picked it up. And last but not least, The Deep. Always wanted to check this movie out, so, yeah. And Ed-Mckays isn't necessarily cheap. It's not like a Goodwill, like where you're going to find Blu-rays and DVDs for a couple bucks, but, I mean, that's actually not true. A lot of the DVDs were $2.95, but they know their shit. It's a very well-known store, so if anything that they have is very obscure or boutique-y, they're going to charge you for it. They know what time it is, pretty much, so, you know. But Blu-rays for $8, roughly. DVDs for 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 or 10, with the exception of, I think, one of them. I don't know. But pretty good deals all around. All right, now we are going to get into I guess we'll just go in the order of what I have everything. So first up from Code Red, we have Point Doom. Never seen this movie before, but I wanted to check it out. It's got a cool cast, so Ice-T's in it. Excuse-moi. And now we get into Vinegar Syndrome's June Hall, Night Owl. Really cool. artwork on that. Never seen this movie. Nor have I seen this, Taking Tiger Mountain. I'm not gonna lie, I wasn't like thrilled about this month's Vinegar Syndrome lineup, just because usually there's one or two films that I love, and there just wasn't this month. But The Passing, pretty cool artwork. And last but not least, we have Putney Swope, which I have no idea what that movie is about, but kind of cool artwork. Alright, next up from Scream Factory, Monster on the Campus. Super stoked to have this one. Classic, 50s werewolf creature feature type. Student Victims of the Terror Beast. It's from 1958. New audio commentary with historians. New audio commentary. Nothing really on here. That's alright. So Mike from Grindhouse Video Tampa had mentioned this movie on one of his updates, and he said it was hilarious. It's from the guys that did Astron 6. So from the guys that did those movies, the editor, and I love the original Astron 6. What's it called? The whole bunch of shorts. Isn't it just Astron 6? I don't know. But anyways, this came out of nowhere from from Kino Lorber. So supposedly pretty funny comedy. And we have a new one from Unearthed Films. I think this is sold exclusively through Unearthed and Mike's store, Grindhouse Video Tampa. So yeah, Torment. Basically, supposedly about Gacy, I guess. I don't know. I picked that one up. Shout out to Frank Fulci. He had done an update recently and mentioned he got that, so I went and swooped it up because I wanted to check it out for sure. This one as well. Final Stab from Mike at Grindhouse Video Tampa. I bought this for collector purposes. It's the limited slipcover. I think there were 500 of these made, so I had to grab that, even though I already own it. And I'm actually going to be giving away a copy of this film as well, so stay tuned for that. Then we have Night of the Creeps. Really stoked on this. I'm psychotic, and I bought both so I could display my both slipcovers, because you get both. You buy the package. I don't have the poster with me. I brought it to work. But yeah, thrilled, no pun intended, to have those. And I also grabbed the Night of the Creeps doll, which is pretty cool. Tommy Atkins. So, I mean, I had to grab this for release. So this is all sold out now. So now I have the Silent Night, Deadly Night, Silent Night, Deadly Night 2, Night of the Demons, Chucky, and Night of the Creeps. I think those are all the dolls that Scream Factory has put out so far. This is a movie I've never seen before, Mafu Cage, a film by Karen Arthur, a terrifying love story. The woman in this movie is beautiful. She's in an episode of Tales from the Crypt as well. I think it's Carol Kane. But yeah, brand new 2K scan of the film. Academy Award winner Lee Grant stars with Academy Award winner Carol Kane in this psychological thriller directed by Emmy Award winner Karen Arthur. Sissy and Ellen are daughters of a deceased African primatologist who kept wild animals in a cage in his living room. Mentally unbalanced, Sissy virtually lives in this exotic Mafu cage, crowded with hothouse plants and strange African artifacts. Ellen is obsessed with the caretaking Sissy and must keep a constant watch on her sister's unpredictable personality. When Ellen's co-worker, David, begins making romantic advances toward Ellen, Sissy believes the man poses a threat to the sisters' relationship. The disturbed Sissy ensnares David in the Mafu cage and subjects him to a series of horrific and deadly rituals. Also starring Will Geer, and acclaimed by critics upon its release. Scorpion's proud to present this film. So it's a new Scorpion for release. Sounds batshit crazy. So stoked on that one. This is a new one from MVD Visual in conjunction with Unearthed. It's actually Unearthed Classics. Oh wow, so it's MVD in conjunction with Unearthed Films. And you may have been familiar, this is number 2 in the line, and there is a small little number. It almost looks like the Shout Select line in terms of the number on the spine. This is number 2. Number 1 they put out already. I'm trying to think what it was now. It was a great release, and I'm drawing a blank. I think it was the Unnameable was the first one. So anyways, The Dark Side of the Moon. Mike from Grindhouse Video Tampa, I purchased this from him. He said he watched this and he liked it. Not what he expected, but not so much horror, but futuristic thriller maybe. I'm not sure. The Dark Side of the Moon. Now we get into the Arrow Video haul. So as many of you know, Arrow Video is selling or having a great sale right now. It's basically buy one get one 50% off, and then sale price as well. So most Blu-rays are like 15, I think. So I jumped on the bandwagon, of course, and I grabbed 2, 4, 6, 8 titles. Well, actually, one of them I got from Ed-Mckays. But then I grabbed a bunch of other titles too, because I'm psychotic. But so these are from the sale. Wanted to make sure I grabbed those Scared Stiffs while they were available with the slipcover. Grabbed a couple of these. Buy one get one free, so I couldn't go wrong. And then I grabbed an extra copy of the New York Ripper from Amazon. And then so Shadows and Fog, I took advantage of this sale for sure and grabbed some Arrow Academy titles. So we have Shadows and Fog. It's weird, it looks like at one point they were trying to label these, but they number them, but they stopped. Children of Men, classic film, had to grab that one. The Girl Who Knew Too Much, also known as something else, but I can't remember now. But yeah, this is really heavy. It's a 3-disc set. I'm not 100% sure if I own this already, so if I do, I'll be selling this, but stay tuned for that. Double Face, this is a new one. I love anything Klaus Kinski, but it's not really horror. Directed by Ricardo Freda, that's cool. Double Face. I was talking to one of my buddies, and he was saying that Arrow Video is not including booklets in a lot of their things anymore. Speaking of that, I just grabbed The Sender, and this was one of the first movies. Well, I jumped on the sale pretty much right after they sold out of Crimson Peak very quickly, the special edition box set. But anyways, losing my train of thought. I had jumped on this like immediately, and there's no booklet, so I'm kind of weirded out by that. The Center, I think this has a U.S. release as well. I can't remember who put it out, but I didn't own this movie at all, so I wanted to grab that. In the Aftermath, never seen or heard of this one. A horrifying vision of man's worst nightmare. Little film from 2002. Wow, so it's not that old. I guess this is the director's debut film, combining repurposed excerpts from a foreign film, in this case, Ghost in the Shell. In a radiation-soaked wasteland, 2 surviving soldiers, Frank and Goose, search for essential supplies and rubble. After a violent confrontation, Frank's haunted by visions of an angelic young girl holding a giant egg, herself a refugee from another world altogether. Could the egg be the key to saving both worlds? So, sounds batshit crazy. Mashup of 80s B-movie, nuclear paranoia, and hauntingly lyrical animation. Three Brothers, wanted to pick this one up. It's supposedly a really good film. Arrow Academy, nice heavy-duty release. And last but not least, Burnt Lancaster and Tony Curtis, and The Sweet Smell of Success. This film also has a Criterion Collection release, but I got that from Arrow. Oops. Alright, so pretty sure that that is all. So, cheers, guys. Oh, one other thing I wanted to mention. Thank you to the few of you who posted response videos for my giveaway. I'll be in touch. I'll probably do that pretty soon. So, appreciate everybody who did that. Frank Fulci, talking about you, man. I think you're the only one who did a video, so awesome. All right, guys. Catch you later. Have a great evening. Bye.